This week on the No More Late Fees podcast, we are joined by the host of the Real Lovers podcast and good friend Marley. Hell, we could even call him family. Welcome, Marley.
Thanks for having me. I've been anticipating this for I don't know how long. I'm such a fan of your show, and it's an honor to be. Thank you for having me on.
We are ecstatic. I feel as if really having you come on because we're going to be doing the Fast and the Furious. It's like calling an expert witness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Although I will admit, I've said this before, this one is not necessarily my strong point. I love Tokyo Drift. That's when I got really introduced to the franchise. And that's my favorite one too. But I still love this one because it's the origins. And also
Right.
Tokyo Drift is not in your timeline.
I know.
Yeah,
Marley and I talked about which ones were actually gonna be in our time frame for the podcast, and it's so sad. Only 2 of the 200 of these movies are in our time frame.
You sound so crushed.
I know. At one point when they're like rebuilding the Supra, Ken's like, there's no way they could have done that in that timeline. I'm like, oh, like in Tokyo Drift where they rebuild a Mustang in an afternoon. He's like, yes.
Using American and import parts.
Yep.
I'm just going to say that I will be representing the every gal during these episodes. You know, look, we all have our niches. We already know from previous episodes that I am not the car gal.
If you want soap opera knowledge,
that's me.
K-dramas,
that's me.
And boy bands.
Somewhat.
Well,
somewhat.
all 3 of those, that's basically Fast and Furious. It's basically a car soap opera, if you think about it.
It's true.
Well, Marley, one, I have to say how we even connected.
Mm-hmm.
No lie, Marley has become like pod family for us. When we first started doing the podcast, he's one of the first people that we became mutuals with on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And that friendship just grew really organically. I'm not even sure like how we really started to like talk, but we would do Twitter spaces with each other. We have fun nicknames for our Twitter spaces. Hashtag Possum Posse. And we have just been, I think, encouraging each other. I may have been threatening Marley about getting his podcast episodes live, maybe.
It's just encouragement.
Yeah.
Danielle and that tough love.
But I'm so proud of him. He's been really, he renamed his podcast. He's really been coming out with some amazing episodes, has some really fun guests. And why don't you tell everybody, one, about your podcast and what you're doing right now with your podcast?
Well, it's basically it's called the Real Lovers podcast, and it's just a movie podcast where I get to talk about more movies besides Fast and Furious. I started all the videos that I made on TikTok were basically Fast and Furious related because those are the only ones that popped off, and I didn't really want that being my niche anymore. So I was just like, I want to just talk about movies in general. So I decided to just rename the podcast The Real Lovers, and then I'm a huge fan of Letterboxd, and one of the main lists on there is like the top 150 like most rated on Letterboxd. So I was like, I'm just going to watch all of them, and that's like my current series right now. I'm currently going through that entire list, and you two are going to be on a future episode.
Well,
yeah.
The hour, I think.
I think so, in the fall or winter.
Yeah.
I will have to say that this 250 list is very white. Marley and I were going through it. I was like, I don't see no black movies on here.
There's a Jordan Peele movie, Get Out, and then you got
one.
You got and then you got a lot of Asian cinema. It's very film brilly. Very film brilly.
250 movies, and y'all got Get Out. That's all I got to say.
Boys in the Hood might be in there too.
Hopefully. I mean, John Singleton, he is a part of the Fast and the
Too
Furious.
Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, he directed the second movie. I am very confused. I know a few of us have heard that, or not heard, but seen that viral video where the guy makes fun of the Fast and the Furious movie titles because they make no fucking sense.
They don't. They really don't.
So we went from the Fast and the Furious, which is the first movie, to Too Fast, Too Serious, Too Furious, which I was like, okay, that makes sense.
It's a sequel. It's the second one in the franchise. Too Fast, Too Furious. That makes sense.
And then we have, what is it, just Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift?
Yeah.
No, it's The Fast and The Furious Tokyo Drift.
Because eventually they start omitting these.
The fourth one is when they start emitting the these, because the fourth one is technically the reboot.
And that one's Fast and Furious.
How is that a reboot and not just like a continuation? Because it's the same characters, same actors.
Well,
from the first one.
It's basically, well,
I would say the third movie should be a reboot, essentially.
Well, the third movie is like a spin-off.
Okay.
It was originally supposed to go direct to DVD because back in 2006, we all know the studio didn't like Asians being like front and center, so they wanted to go direct to DVD. But then they really decided, like, hey, let's bring it to theaters, like, and because Justin Lin, the thing of what I love about this franchise like the most is that Justin Lin, the director of Tokyo Drift, he basically just came into this franchise and made it his own, and just kind of like he took a character from Better Luck Tomorrow, Han, and just put him into the franchise, and he became like the most loved character. And like I think that's what I love it the most, just because it's so, like, even though this franchise is very problematic and like it's not doesn't really have like the best like actors or logics, but Justin Lin made the best with what he had. It's like, and I think it's really something to kind of like admire, like, and look up to.
I mean, I know it is what it is, like, look, is it Oscar bait? No. But do you find enjoyment in most of them? Yeah. They're fun movies, and we have to give props to how diverse the casts are. And without Fast and the Furious, the whole thing, we probably wouldn't have gotten such a launch of as much diversity that we've been seeing, because it made so much money overseas, domestically and overseas.
And I've said this before, I don't think I've made a TikTok about it. My mom was someone that was the first person that introduced me to this franchise, just because my mom is really a big fan of diversity and like people of different races and cultures coming together to accomplish a common goal. And that's what these movies are really truly about. Like, maybe not so much like the first two, but Tokyo Drift, and definitely like 5, 6, and even 7, because it's like pretty much every single race is represented in a pretty decent way. Probably not the women, because there's definitely some issues with the women characters, but even then, like, they're still like on screen. And like I know you talk about representation, like, is huge in this industry, and like just even seeing like a character like Michelle Rodriguez just being a badass, like it's really great for like a young like Latina girl like growing up, just and seeing like someone like her like just being like a just a tough girl.
Well, yeah, I think what I love about it too is that all the actors have pushed for their characters to have some growth. Like, I know Michelle Rodriguez at one point put her foot down about, not just wanting to be like the girlfriend. And I think Letty she's been the girlfriend, but not just like her personality and her character. She's kind of like been solidified as her own person as well.
Right.
I mean, even in the first movie. But I think when she left and then came back, she really was fighting for, a little bit more. Even Jordana Brewster was just like, you know, I don't want to just be like Brian's girlfriend and Dom's sister, you know? So it's been nice to see her character evolve. And, you know, especially after Paul Walker passing, like her being able to have, being able to race and be a part of these. I don't even know. We're not even in racing anymore at this point in these movies. They're just international spies. It seems like my biggest question about this franchise is where did they learn these skills, right? Because we see where, like, rewatching this movie, we see where they're starting, and I'm like, how are we jumping out of airplanes? Y'all been taking classes? How are we like black belt level martial artists now? How are we computer whizzes? How do we know how to bank rob things? Like, what school did they go to?
The School of Family.
I guess, like, but
No.
like, don't you question, like, where did they get these skills? Because from where we started to where they're at now, it's just like ridiculous.
Well, I think like the most common, I think I sent you this TikTok about Ludacris. Ludacris is in the second Too Fast, Too Furious, and he's an owner of a garage and kind of like organizing street racing. And then later in films, he's an international like hacker. Like he's just he's like the world's greatest hacker. And like my argument for that is that he went to DeVry University.
Not to laugh if you went to DeVry, like quality education, but
yeah,
it's just like what these gaps.
They had a lot of downtime while they were hiding out in Mexico, Danielle.
So I love how
and that's like the key thing though, is that like with these movies, it's like everyone needs like a movie franchise where you can just turn your brain off.
Yeah.
And just kind of like soak it in and just forget about like the stresses of the outside world and just watch a family just go through.
I mean, yes, I try to shut my brain off, but this movie has me having a lot of questions a lot of the times. But since the 10th movie is coming out soon, we thought we would have you give us your ranking of all of the movies 1 through 9.
Okay. Crap. Do you mind if I pull up my Letterboxd ranking?
No problem. No problem. And usually we have like a question for all of us, but I figured all of us can rank ours. I'm gonna have some gaps because I don't remember, so you're gonna have to help me when I get to mine, Marley.
Okay, yeah, I'll help you out like family.
Say that again, Jackie.
I haven't watched all of them, but I will say after I watch this one, I'm like, maybe that's what we do in the evenings is just watch the Fast and the Furious movies.
I feel like Ken will enjoy it, but then start to get extremely aggravated once we start getting into
thoughts. I started writing down every time he made comments. So I have all his thoughts on the Fast and the Furious.
The first one is nothing in comparison to when they start literally having cars fly out of airplanes. That he's going to have some physics questions and frustrations. 100%.
The Fast and the Furious, especially now, is just one of those franchises that someone said it perfectly on the other podcast I was recording last night, is that it's basically like America's Bollywood like movie, because like I'm not sure if you've seen RRR. Like that movie is like off, like completely off the wall. Like
everything.
It makes Fast and Furious looks like child's play. So it's nice that America has like its kind of own version of that and not completely ripping it off. And like, I don't know. I just think it's fun just to have like an American film has like different races, but also pulling from like these Bollywood movies or Tollywood movies like RRR. It's really great.
It's culture. I mean, honestly, it has created its own culture, its own universe. I mean, you have Star Wars, you have Harry Potter, and like, who would have thought this would become something like that? I know I didn't.
I didn't either, and I had like an argument last night with someone on Twitter. They were like trying to convince me they were watching Tokyo Drift. No, they were watching Fast and Furious 6. And they saw like a connection from between Tokyo Drift and like, oh, they knew it was going to be like this, and I'm like, no, they didn't. They didn't know anything.
They were just
Don't
making
try
that
to
shit
buy
up
me.
at just like
Danielle, technically we could do Tokyo Drift because it's 2006.
we could. I don't have any problems.
We always make an exception a season. So
I don't know if it's gonna be that one. I don't
Maybe
know what season 28 maybe.
Maybe a Patreon episode. Maybe make that a
Maybe.
Patreon. Yeah.
or maybe a live episode.
If we
Yeah.
did a Patreon episode, it would just literally be for you, Marley. All right. Do you have your ranking?
Yeah, I got my ranking. You want me to start from like,
Wherever you
9?
want. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously I already said that my favorite one is Tokyo Drift, just because Han is my favorite character and I just like the representation. That even though there's some very iffy stuff with the women characters in that, but I'm willing to acknowledge that, and I know it's problematic, but Justin Lin is
it's a nostalgic one, especially for you.
Yeah, Justin Lin is my favorite filmmaker. I loved every single episode of Community that he directed. I love Better Luck Tomorrow. Okay. Number 2 is Furious 7, because I will admit that I never thought I would cry at the end of a Fast and Furious movie. And I cried at the end of Furious 7. Just it's like absolutely like the most beautiful emotional like scene like ever, where Vin Diesel and Brian are driving off and they split off and Brian is in the white car, and I'm like spoilers, but it's like I shed a tear. I never thought that would ever happen.
I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Jesus.
And then number 3, Fast 5. I think that's everyone's like favorite, at least, because it's basically just a heist film.
Which one? What is it? Fast 5?
Is
the
that
one
the
with
one
the
in
bank vault.
Mexico? No.
Brazil.
Oh, yes, that is. So Fast 4 is when they come back together and they're looking for Letty.
Yes.
Okay.
No, Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious is where they go under the border.
The tunnels.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And Letty dies in Fast and Furious.
Right.
In the fourth one.
Right. Okay.
It's so these movies. I'm like Fast and Furious, the fourth one. And then number 4 will be Fast and Furious 6. That's
what happens in that one? Let me know. Refresh my memory.
That's Letty's amnesia. I always call it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not where she fights the MMA fighter or whatever, right?
Gina Carano.
No. Is it Gina? I thought it was.
It's Gina.
I thought it was
Ronda Rousey.
Rhonda.
Rondi.
2 problematic women that
Yes.
don't like certain groups.
Yeah.
They're racist.
Yeah, very racist.
Yes.
Thank you.
100%. But no, didn't she fight Rhonda too?
That's in Furious 7.
Okay.
Ronda Rousey's in Furious 7.
All right. Okay.
Danielle,
And
you
then-
have some homework to do.
Girl.
You've been dreading this episode.
I
Danielle,
haven't.
have
I'm
you?
so excited.
Number 5, gotta throw it out to John Singleton. Too Fast, Too Curious. I mean, Too Fast and Too Fast.
How many different ways are we going to say Too Fast, Too Furious incorrectly?
I don't know. I just have Too Fast, Too Curious like in my mind because I watched a YouTube video about it's basically like queer cinema between Brian and Roman, and like
Well, the first one is definitely queer cinema.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but if
you can't tell me those two want to make out.
well, if you have me back and we do Too Fast, Too Furious, I'll explain.
You'll do the breakdown.
Yeah, I'll do the breakdown. Because it's not text, it's not subtext, it's text.
Well, that movie, if we do Too Fast, Too Delirious, will be.
Oh, Danielle, if you go to the Wikipedia page, it gives a synopsis of each movie.
Okay.
that might be helpful for you.
I just like Marley telling me
Explaining.
a few things. Yes.
Letty's amnesia.
Right.
And then
He gives me the catchphrase. I don't want to read the whole thing. I just need to know those poignant things. And I'm like, yeah. Got it.
yeah, that's basically how you describe like Fast and Furious. They go to space, they have
Right.
ice charger, they have
Right. Oh
Um,
man. When they go to space, his head is gonna fucking explode. He's gonna be like, this
He's gonna love it. He'd be like, this is all very believable.
He's gonna think it's
I literally-
believable.
I'll get to that because it's lower on the ranking, but the next one is the Fast and the Furious, the one we're doing today.
Uh-huh.
It's not my favorite, but I understand the roots. I'm willing to respect where it came from, where it started. And then we have Fast and Furious, which this is when we start getting to the ones I don't like.
Fast and Furious, what number is that one?
That one's 4.
Or when they go to Mexico, and
Gotcha.
it also it's the guy that plays Mother's Milk on The Boys randomly.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you doing here? You're a much better actor than be in these movies.
I love him. He's fine.
He's fine.
Mhm.
And then I got F9. That's number 8. It's ranked number 8, but it's number 9. And then my least favorite one is The Fate of the Furious.
Which number is that one?
8. Yeah.
Is this when? Okay, which one? Well, tell me about this one.
This one, Fate of the Furious, I just say white girl dreads, which that's how I describe it.
White
It's
girl dreads. Oh, Charlize.
Charlize Theron.
First of all, Charlize, what they pay you for these movies? Because I never, not one, but multiple times.
I think she just has fun doing them.
I mean, it's fun to see her. She's a really good villain. I don't
And
think
she likes action
she?
movies.
she's not a good villain, but I like her. All
Cypher.
the villains in these movies are just like ridiculous. And then I love how like they have villains and then in the next movie they're part of the family. Make up your mind.
Well, that's the biggest problem that I have with Fate of the Furious, and that's why it's my least favorite, just because Fate of the Furious basically turned Jason Statham's character, Owen, he plays the bad guy's brother in 6.
Right.
And at the end of 6, it's revealed that Jason Statham kills Han from Tokyo Drift. And by the end of 8, Jason Statham is part of the family. So Vin Diesel is basically just saying, welcome to the family, even though you killed Han. I'm like, wow, that's not cool.
His whole backstory is so fucking convoluted. Like, okay, let me get this straight. Your brother and your mother and your sister and your like everybody are thieves, apparently.
Yeah.
But then you used to be an MI6, I guess. But then you killed Han, but then you didn't kill Han. And then you want revenge on your brother, but then you realize your brother was just like an asshole. But then you team up with another. Like, make it make sense. And why is your mom like literally trying to make Dom your stepdaddy in every fucking movie? How are they getting these people to sign on to these movies? Like, I know it's money, I know, but like logically, Helen Mirren, what? Not 1, not 2, but at least she's in 3 of these movies, right?
Well, I'm not sure if you have these in the facts, the fun facts, but Helen Mirren actually begged Vin Diesel to be in a Fast and Furious movie because she wanted to drive a car, and she finally got to do it in 9. Which seeing her drive like a car like with Vin Diesel was like super funny and like awesome. I love that for her.
I think she, honestly, out of all the characters, she's probably top 10 for me, top 5.
It's Helen Mirren.
It's Helen Mirren, and she's just super fun.
I got something for you. Guess who's in X or 10, the 10th one?
There's a lot of people. Oh, Brie Larson.
Well, her, but Rita Moreno.
As what? Oh, as their mom.
Yeah, Dom's mom.
Okay, let's talk about this. let's talk about their ethnicity and how it
Oh,
don't
they're
make-
Italian, but they want to be Mexican. Clearly,
I don't know what it is, because like I'm confused by it. It would have been cool to me, honestly. I think that they should have just made them Dominican, because Vin Diesel is part Dominican. It would have
Mhm.
been fine, you know?
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do with the fourth one, because these movies make my brain go to mush.
Because
Sorry.
like they know Spanish, but then they go to Brazil, and I feel like they know Portuguese as well. I'm like, okay, Brazilian could have been another option, because like I'm thinking of countries where you could be ethnically just all over the place and it makes sense.
Mhm.
I mean, you can do that anywhere, obviously. You could be mixed anywhere and make sense. But when I was watching the first movie, I was just like looking how there was all of these different factions. There was the Asian faction, there was the Black faction, the Hispanic faction, and I'm just like, well, what is Dom and his peeps? Because everybody all over.
Italian.
Is
He's
that
just
what it was?
everywhere. He's
Italian
biracial.
and a couple of white boys.
I was like, all right, we gonna do this, because I'm trying to figure out. Because when they bring in John Cena, I was like, now y'all just brought it too far. What are we doing? But then they made it make sense, because he had a different daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Did they make it?
I mean,
I'm still,
in
just,
relative
you just
Fast and
tripped-
Furious terms,
You
it makes
just-
sense.
you just tripped me up, Danielle. You just said they made it make sense while talking about Fast and
I
Furious.
know they didn't make it make sense, but they had, for once, they had like a reasoning. Like
Mhm.
I think they were like, okay, nobody's really gonna believe that John Cena and Vin Diesel are siblings,
Mhm.
especially with Mia. Like Mia and Dom look like they could be related, so they had to have some backstory to this.
Yeah. Even though Mia has changed, Jordana Brewster has changed like dramatically since
Yeah.
the first film. Rewatching all these movies leading up to 10.
Well, Jackie, I know you haven't seen all of them, but do you want to at least rank the ones that you have seen, I guess?
It's gonna be a short list: Tokyo Drift, The Fast and the Furious, and Fast and Furious. I've only
Okay.
seen 3.
We need to
Okay.
change that.
I'm telling you, we will probably end up watching them all after watching the first one.
Okay. Which
Oh,
one
and
is
I
it?
have seen Hobbs and Shaw.
I have too as well.
Okay, so I'll let you go, Danielle. But this is where if someone mentions Hobbs and Shaw, I always have to say that that's not family. So it's
They
not
just
fam-
present Hobbs
yeah,
and Shaw.
Gotcha.
because
I mean, it could be family. It's just extended family or family
No.
once removed.
Nope.
Second cousins.
Nope.
All
not
right.
it's not good. Like I don't know. I watched it on TNT like 2 days ago, and just to see if I had like a change of heart. And never, like, I like the representation with like
Yeah.
Samoan with the Rock's like Samoan brothers, but it's
Doesn't
soulless.
make any sense.
It
Yeah.
has no soul.
Well, let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna rattle off some things in my brain. Marley, you can translate. I like the best that 6th one, I think. The one where they run around Brazil.
That's 5.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Fast 5.
Where they got the safe?
Yeah, the bank vault.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay, my bad. I like 5. Mm. Let's see. What the one where Letty has amnesia, which one is that?
That's Fast and Furious 6. Or if you're watching the movie, the opening titles show Furious 6. So it has 2 titles. Fast
All
and
right.
Furious 6 or Furious 6.
Okay. I'm gonna put that as number 2.
Mhm.
Okay.
The very first Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious #3. I don't recall the second one, but since it has a lot of Black representation, I'm gonna put that in my top 5. So Too
Too
Fast, Too Delirious at number
Too furious. That
Too-
is the
too-
third.
I did that one on purpose. I
Okay.
did that one on purpose.
I was gonna say.
The one where Jason is the villain. What number is that?
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
It's 7. Furious 7.
I
That's Paul Walker's like conclusion.
last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. So let's
Mhm.
add that somewhere. Then I guess I could say Tokyo Drift, and then anything else in between, and then F9 at the bottom.
Yeah, I think we're
I
all
remember-
in agreement.
I
on
remember
F9.
messaging you when I finally watched F9, and I was just like, this is horrible.
Tarzan.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel using a car to. Sorry, spoilers, Jackie, but
I'm fine.
yeah. F9. I have like I don't like it, but it was the first movie that I saw out of COVID, so I have that connection to it. And let's just say I was a little inebriated.
Right.
So when I walked out of it, I was enjoying it a lot more. But ever since then, I own it on Blu-ray, and I can't finish it.
Yeah.
I can't finish it.
Sounds about right. Well, Marley, as you know on the show, because we used to work at Blockbuster, we asked our wonderful guests to pick their top 3 employee picks that they would recommend to Blockbuster guests coming into the store from our time period of 1995 to 2005. So you get to pick 3.
Okay, 3. I listen to the show every week, so I was preparing for
thank
this
you.
for like
Excellent.
I'm preparing for this for like months. So I was kind of debating before we started recording like what to actually do. The first one I'm going to pick is Shaun of the Dead. It's
You
one
have
of
visuals.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Visual aids. Love it.
Visual aids. I love Shaun of the Dead so much. And Justin Lin's my favorite filmmaker, and after that it's Edgar Wright. I've always loved his films and just his aesthetic style that he films at. And then since we're doing Fast and Furious, I had to do another vehicle recommendation. I know we've been doing Twitter Spaces, Danielle, and I've expressed my hatred for Sandra Bullock. And
it really hurts my.
Like
I just feel like you didn't need to say it on the show. I'm
I'm
trying to
sorry.
get you love.
Here I'm redeeming myself. So Speed.
Ooh,
Ooh, okay.
Sandra,
that's a great choice.
This is the one Sandra Bullock movie that I do like. I think she's really solid in it, and so is Keanu Reeves. Yeah, and then this one I'm cheating with a little bit because I don't have the first one. The first one was from 2004. It's District B13. It's like a parkour French film about.
Did they
Hmm?
remake it? Did they make an American version?
They remade it. It's called Brick Mansion, starring Paul Walker. So to tie it in, but I have this one because does the box look familiar?
No,
It
it's
looks
kind of
like a rental.
It looks like Fast and Furious.
Oh crap! See it? Oh, can you see it? Shoot.
I see the inside of the case.
Yo, it says Blockbuster inside.
Yeah.
Oh.
When my Blockbuster closed, when my Blockbuster closed, I went and bought up most of the store. So that's the one that it's just something that I wanted to represent since I'm on the No More Late Fees podcast.
Awesome. So why don't you tell everybody where people can find you on social?
You can find me, Marley Loves Film, pretty much everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, YouTube. I'm still trying to get into YouTube a little bit, but my handle is Marley Loves Film, and you can follow me there.
Awesome. And as usual, you guys can follow us at No More Late Fees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And don't forget to stay tuned for our The Fast and the Furious episode with Marley later this week.
And as always, be kind, and be family.
I love that.